Good night. Good night. I hope you enjoyed the last chapter of the robot, the 14th one. So I bought more clay, so I'll have things to work with, both synthetic and natural. And now I have exactly 0 shekels. Poverty is not a nice thing. This will be a short agenda video. So I don't know. I mean, what's more urgent? Like for my part, like continuing with the robots series. Maybe I'll do it now, or maybe I will take microscopic samples from both the crucible and the metallic aquarium, and then light it, and then take more samples, because this is also important. I feel like more towards the microscopic review, so I'll decide in a bit. What was important for me to say is that really you need to understand that the main problem with regards to how humans are conducting themselves now is that I am in prison, me and my daughters, in a cruel Nazi prison. You need to rescue us using arms and legs, not using mouths and tongues. The Titans that live in Earth are not the main, the main priority right now. In general, of course, my mission here is related to the Titans, but not necessarily to those in Earth, but to those that live in Venus, both males and females. I mean, that all are crushed by the Israelis for more than 100 years. It should be said again and again, the Titans in Israel, especially since the 1980s, those that belong to our generations, are Nazi and cruel beyond any imagination. And I've spoken about it quite a bit in many videos, and especially in the Ornamental Monk saga. That it's like 5 videos that I mentioned in the previous video today, and I really, please, get it from Disney Plus, because I think it's very important, and it discusses the role of the Titans the modern role of the Titan females in the Israeli intelligence and the Israeli security sector. I will not repeat it because it's quite long and interesting. So please just get hold of the Ornamental Monk videos and watch it. What I will discuss in the next 2 videos is sexual issues that are less discussed in the Ornamental Monk series. That deals more with intelligence, like how they integrated inside the intelligence community. It should be said that these people, the Titans in Israel, are disgusting beyond any imagination. Really, the worst of the worst. And I wish I had any indication that the Titans abroad are different, but I don't have any indication for that. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't have any indication for that. But those in Israel are unbelievably disgusting, because they were raised here in lizard communities, by lizard people, and they become even more cruel with the lizard than the homosexuals and the pedophiles that are so common, were always common and still common inside the Israeli intelligence and politics. And they have the audacity, the mouse, unbelievable mouse. I was just reminded today, by kind of like both a post in Facebook, like by one of the comments, like in the comment section, and also like kind of like LinkedIn notification. You know that I do not work and I don't have money, and for quite some time. And my last job is a computer programmer or software engineer, something that I'm pretty good at, not the best, but pretty good at, and I have a lot of experience. Was in a company that called Hermetic, and they fired me after 6 months, and in a very disgusting way, because I discussed it quite a bit like in the past. Of course, they were all part of like the Israeli related to Israeli intelligence for certain. And I don't want to rediscuss it because it was already discussed in many videos. And since then I couldn't, I haven't worked, and of course I ran out of money, and now I'm poor, and of course the government, the state wants me to be their whore, and I refuse, and I cannot sell anything, and sell it very well. It's impossible for me to sell stuff. The internet, I cannot move, I'm under arrest, I cannot go outside of Israel. When I asked for a passport, 3 days later I was arrested, and I'm still 10 months later under a draconian arrest. I cannot sell. My internet connection, of course, is blocked by the Shabak, so I have no rights at all. I'm less than a farm animal from the Israeli perspective. But I was reminded by one small issue that is not that important, but it's just kind of like a signifier of what's the nature of the people of Israel and the Titans of Israel. So after I was fired in a very disgusting way, I had last talk, maybe it was over the phone with Nadine Shabbat. she was like the HR person of the company, and of course a titan, like the rest of the females in this company. And she told me something like, I mean, don't be discouraged because the trash of one company or the junk of one company might be the gold for another company. That's what she told me. Now, you need to understand something if you didn't understand it already. All the titans in Israel require the yellow neos or the brown ones in order to live. And they cannot have, they don't have access for the brown neos for many years now. So they must get the yellow neos in order to live. They depend on the supply of the yellow neos to stay alive. This is a scientific fact, if you didn't understand it already. And there is only one person that is known in this world that produces the yellow neos, because it's part of his body. I mean, I actually know how to multiply it out of my body, as you know, because I've learned how to do it during the last 10 months. Things that, I mean, by doing research, it was well documented in his channel. But even if, I mean, well before that, I mean, it was known that there is only one source of the yellow neos. So all of them in Israel, all the titans in Israel, depends on the yellow neos in order to live. And so, just, I mean, think like what kind of audacity is required from a person, not only to fire you, but to tell you that the junk or the trash of one company might be the gold of another company, while she knows that in order for her to stay alive, she requires yellow neos that can only be found in one source, which is the body of the person that she speaks to. I mean, think of the audacity, and really there is nothing special about Nadine Shabbat, because these are the titans in Israel, and I met so many of these. And it's interesting that, I mean, during the last 4.5 years, and you know that I'm a monk during the last 4.5 years, I do not have any sex during the last 4.5 years, starting like this kind of like, I mean, journey, the discovery journey in 2019. So I have no sex with at all. I'm a monk, even though before that, of course I wasn't a monk. I had a wife, of course we had sex, I mean, regularly, and we had children, and before that I had girlfriends, and even, I mean, several one-night stands. Of course, I mean, I had like girlfriends, but you know that I'm a monk during the last 4.5 years, and it's amazing that, I mean, some titans in Israel, some female titans in Israel, still, I mean, try to claim, like, especially to the ears of intelligence communities outside of Israel, that certainly this man must be a gay person or a complete buffoon, like that. Because, I mean, many of us, I mean, like, I mean, we try to contact him, and like, so either he's a complete idiot that doesn't understand kind of like, I mean, our hints. Maybe he kind of like a robotic buffoon that, I mean, needs like, I mean, that doesn't understand like anything without in regards to women for some reason. I don't know why, even though, I mean, all indication, I mean, regarding this person hints very, very strongly that he actually understands social relations of humans tremendously better than the average of humans or titans. But I mean, for some reason, maybe, I mean, he doesn't understand like our hints, even though in the past he understood it very well, and he actually had sexual relationships, and I mean, the way that he speaks, and like, I mean, his entire kind of like, I mean, in his entire like production of videos for like 4 years now, I mean, suggests very strongly that his actual understanding of humans, all aspects of humans, are, I mean, tremendously higher than average. But maybe it's like that. But or another option that is perhaps he's a homosexual, because otherwise, what kind of reason would such a, I mean, if he's not homosexual in the understand like social cues, and especially like flirtations and things like that, why should he refuse our temptations? I mean, can you find any reason at all why should a person choose to not insert his head willingly inside the mouth of a giant anaconda? I mean, unless he's homosexual or a complete buffoon that doesn't understand any kind of like sexual hints or flirtations. I mean, what other reason should a reasonable person, I mean, reject, I mean, again and again, reject the opportunity to place his head inside the mouth of a giant cool anaconda? Can you find any, or a giant cool cobra, I don't know. Can you find a reason that we don't understand? I mean, why should he do it? Amazing question. So these are the people of Israel, and these are the titans of Israel. And again, it's not, nothing special about Nadine Shabbat. She's actually the least important of all the people that treat me in a very cruel way in Hermetic. Very, very cruel way. And I spoke about it quite a bit. Just, sometimes the best kind of understanding of the people, or kind of the mindset, can be gathered not from the long story of how they treated you, but from one sentence. And especially from people that barely knew you. But yes, she is a titan, female, and she had the audacity to speak like that, and nothing special about it. That's the people of Israel, and this is the titans, the young titans in Israel. The titan females. This is the way that they are. This is the kind of mouse that they have. They don't understand the consequences of their action. After such a person speaks to you like that, isn't it obvious that you will never, it's not only that you will never willingly help her, but you will not help anyone in this country, and maybe not anyone in this world, but at a minimum, you will never help any titan female in Israel after one spoke to you like that. This is indication of the people. Such a mouse, can you believe that such a mouse even exists? But it exists. And as I've said many times, such a mouse exists in Israel because it's a parasitic country for a long, long time. And other nations allowed it to be parasitic because they several reasons, but the main reason is that they wanted the trash can. They wanted a trash can to put all the garbage in. This is reality for many, many years. Otherwise, Israel could not have existed in such a parasitic, with such a parasitic nature. And for certain, you wouldn't find such a mouse, to say to a person that your life depends on him, to say maybe another company, another company, maybe the trash of one company could be the gold of another company. To say to the person that, you need, in order to live, you need stuff that can only be manufactured by him. This is not, a result of kind of a psychosis or specific personal disorder of one person. This is a symptom of a personality disorder of a society that is completely parasitic and doesn't understand at all the consequences of their actions, because they were allowed to be like that for many, many years by the other nations of this world. Because all of you, allow them to be that way. You allow them to develop this mouse, unbelievable mouse that is, it's not only immoral, but it's anti-evolutionary. What kind of society can exist with such a mouse? Sooner or later, they will destroy themselves, like any parasite. And what's the consequences for the rest of the titans in this land? Of course, I will never do anything for them. Never, ever, ever, ever. After one of them spoke to me like that, and of course, it's not the only thing that they've done to me. This is, I'm still to this day, I'm tortured by them all the time. But even that, very specific thing. After one opened their mouth like that, do you think that I will ever do anything for them, willingly? For any titan in Israel? Are you insane to think like that? Of course not. I have nothing with them. I want to be rescued from the Nazi hell, and certainly not while I'm outside of Israel and not inside of Israel. I have no relation to any of them. They are lizards and snakes, and the only thing that I want is never even to be close to any of these disgusting creatures. And this, of course, it just makes sense. And all of them could have understood it, but they don't care, because they don't see, they are used to not see the connection between actions and consequences. Because they are part of a parasitic state for a long time. Because you, all over the world, allow them to be parasitic. Because you wanted a trash can country to put all the garbage inside it. That's why you are all being punished, all of you, around the blue planet, around the globe.